Sometime during the upcoming week, Judge Sam Taylor is expected to set a hearing date on the AEA's motion. Well, earlier this afternoon at his home, the Executive Secretary of the AEA, Dr. Paul Hubbard, talked with us about the lawsuit, and he explained that there are actually two constitutional questions involving the tuition grant bill.
Well, back in 1973, the Alabama Supreme Court, in an opinion of the justices, signed by then Chief Justice Hal Heflin and concurred in by some 4 other justices, in response to the legislature, reacted to a piece of legislation that's almost the same, identical legislation that passed last week in the special session. In that opinion, they said that it was an unnecessary entanglement of church and state, and that it violated the Constitution of Alabama and the United States Constitution. Also, another section of the Alabama Constitution requires that if appropriations are to be made to individuals or private groups, then those bills must pass by 2/3 majority of both houses. The House of Representatives failed to pass a tuition grant bill by the required 2/3 majority. So we feel for these 2 reasons, among other things, that the measure is unconstitutional, and our attorneys, of course, have filed suit in the Circuit Court of Montgomery County.
This legislation that you talked about in 73, then, had it passed, was it an injunction invoked against it, and was it in effect killed by the judge?
No, the legislation in 73 was essentially the same bill that passed this year. But one house of the legislature, I don't remember whether it was the Senate or the House of Representatives, asked the court to comment on the constitutionality of the proposal. The court did so and rendered its opinion in 73. There's very little change, according to our legal staff, from the opinion and the legislation looked at in 73 and the measure that actually passed in the special session last week. So it was upon that basis they felt that it still constituted, as the justices put it, an unnecessary entanglement between church and state. Let me hasten to add that we're not against church schools. We think they serve a very vital role in our society. The thing that we do have problems with is using tax monies to support particular religious denominational schools. And I think that if those schools are to continue to exist, it ought to be the responsibility of the various memberships of the various congregations and the various churches involved to support those institutions rather than trying to do it from the public treasury.
This lawsuit could affect as many as 10,000 students who attend private colleges in Alabama. This is Glenda Webb, WSFA TV News.